Morning friends, happy Tuesday. How the heck are you doing? Now, it's been a bit doom and gloom on this channel, mainly because of the non-working royal situation. The Republicans know it's been a bit gloomy, the royalists know it's been a bit gloomy. So how brilliant is it to get back to talking about that diamond, that star in the sky, Meghan, with her fellow actors, talking about how glorious Meghan is as a person and how brilliant she is to work with. And you literally cannot pay for this type of PR. Her colleagues, her mentors, her peers, talking about what a genuine, warm, talented, happy, calm and relaxed woman she is. She's just so glaringly glorious, you know. This is Abigail, I can't remember her last name, sorry. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm not up on the world of actors. I'm not up on the world of film or theatre. But a genuine person being interviewed by Hello, telling you the facts about Meghan. Good. We're back up. Our souls are lifted. We feel happy. Meghan's where it's at. Harry's where it's at. The rest of the family, a bit of an embarrassment to the UK, really, aren't they?
And my final question is, we love your friendship. Obviously, we're Hello Magazine with Meghan Markle. You guys go way back. We would love to know, what is an unexpected characteristic about her that you absolutely adore?
I don't think anything is unexpected because she's just so glaringly glorious, you know? So I think she wears it on her sleeve, and she's honestly been one of the best friends in this life I could have asked for. So she is as wonderful and amazing and delightful as she seems. Yeah.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever is helping you survive the chaos of this week, because we need to talk about something absolutely hilarious. You know you're a main character when people can't even interview your friends without somehow turning the entire conversation back to you. Can we talk about how predictable this whole thing has become? Abigail Spencer sits down for an interview. She's got her own projects, her own career, her own achievements, plenty to discuss. Yet somehow, some way, the conversation takes a sharp exit off the highway and lands right back at Meghan Sussex. At this point, you almost have to admire the commitment. It's like inviting someone over to discuss their new restaurant, and after 5 minutes you're asking, yeah, but what does your friend think about tacos? Every single time. And honestly, that's where this gets funny, because if you're constantly trying to steer every conversation back to the same person, you're accidentally proving how important that person is. You think you're exposing them, but you're actually advertising them. The obsession is working overtime. But then, Abigail completely ruined the script. You could almost hear certain people rubbing their hands together, waiting for a tiny crumb of drama. Maybe a weird pause, maybe an awkward answer, maybe one of those vague celebrity responses that can be stretched into 3 days of headlines. Nope. Instead, Abigail came in like she was swinging a folding chair in a wrestling match. She basically said Meghan is one of the best friends anybody could ask for. And then Abigail took it even further, talking about how Meghan helped her through some of the hardest moments of her life. That's the part that matters, because regular people understand that. We've all had those seasons when life decides to throw hands. Job problems, family stress, health scares, heartbreak, the whole ugly package. And during those moments, you find out who's really in your corner. Not the people who like your posts, not the people who appear when things are easy, the people who answer the phone at 2 a.m., the people who show up, the people who check on you without being asked, the people who don't disappear when life gets messy. That's real friendship. That's what Abigail was talking about. And here's the thing that always gets lost in these media games. You can dislike somebody's public image. You can disagree with their choices. You can argue about headlines all day long. But person after person who actually knows someone in real life keeps describing them as loyal, supportive, generous, and caring. Eventually, people start paying attention, because those are the reviews that matter. Not anonymous sources, not mysterious insiders, not somebody's cousin's neighbor's dog walker. Actual friends, actual experiences, actual human beings speaking from their own lives. And I think that's why stories like this connect with ordinary people. You know what jumped out at me about this whole thing? It wasn't just what Abigail Spencer said, it was how fast she said it. No awkward pause, no nervous laugh, no staring at the ceiling trying to calculate tomorrow's headlines. The question came flying in, and Abigail answered like she had been waiting her whole life for it. Boom, Meghan is an amazing friend. Done. Case closed, roll credits. You could almost hear some people in the background yelling, "Wait, you're supposed to be mysterious. Give us something we can overanalyze for 3 weeks." But Abigail wasn't playing that game, and honestly, good for her. Because in today's world, people act like friendship is some kind of corporate contract. Everybody's worried about optics. Everybody's worried about getting dragged online. Everybody's worried about being linked to the wrong person for 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Abigail basically walked into the room and said, "Yeah, that's my friend, and she's awesome." I respect that a lot, because regular people understand exactly what that means. We've all had moments when somebody asks about a friend and you can immediately tell they're fishing. They're not asking because they're interested, they're looking for gossip, they're hoping you'll slip, they're waiting for that tiny crack. And that's when you find out who really rides for you. Some people suddenly become accountants. Well, technically speaking, our relationship exists within a variety of circumstances. Stop it. Nobody talks like that. Abigail answered the way real friends answer. Quick, simple, certain. The kind of answer that says, "I know who this person is" when the cameras are off. And that's the part people often forget. The public sees headlines. Friends see real life. Friends see the phone calls. Friends see the kindness nobody posts about. Friends see the support nobody turns into a viral story. That's a completely different view. And honestly, the funniest part is that every time someone tries to create drama around Meghan, another friend pops up sounding like they've won the friendship lottery. At this point, the plot twist keeps repeating itself. The media asks a question expecting turbulence, the friend responds with compliments. The media asks again, more compliment. Again, more compliment. It's like watching somebody repeatedly touch a hot stove and acting surprised when it's still hot. But beyond all the jokes, there's something pretty refreshing here. Loyalty is rare these days. People switch sides faster than a football transfer window. One bad headline, and suddenly folks start acting like they've never met you before. So when somebody publicly stands beside a friend without hesitation, people notice. Not because it's shocking, because it should be normal. And yet it feels rare. That's why Abigail's answer landed with so many people. It wasn't polished, it wasn't robotic, it felt real. It felt like somebody talking about a friend they genuinely care about. No drama, no hidden agenda, just appreciation. And honestly, in a world addicted to mess, that might be the most rebellious thing of all. You know what always makes me laugh about these situations? Some people genuinely act like a newspaper headline has magical powers, like a reporter can type a few spicy sentences, hit publish, and suddenly 20 years of friendship just evaporates into a thin air. That's not how life works. That's not how real friendships work. And that's definitely not how friendships that have survived for decades work. We're talking about years here, not weeks, not months, years. The kind of friendship that existed long before most people were paying attention. The kind of friendship that survives career changes, personal struggles, bad days, good days, and all the boring stuff in between that never makes the news. Because that's where real friendship actually lives, not on red carpets, not in headlines, not in comment sections. It lives in random phone calls. It lives in checking on somebody when they're having a rough week. It lives in those late-night conversations where you're both exhausted but still talking because your friend needs you. That's the stuff that matters. And that's why I think Abigail's response hit so hard. She wasn't sounding like a spokesperson, she sounded like a friend, a real one, the kind who already knows the truth because she's lived it. You could tell there was no uncertainty there, no second guessing, no trying to calculate what social media might say tomorrow morning. Just confidence, just certainty, just, yeah, that's my friend. And honestly, people recognize that energy immediately because most of us have experienced it. Think about your own closest friends. Imagine someone you've known forever, someone who's seen you at your best and your absolute worst, someone who remembers the version of you before the job, before the success, before all the drama. Now, imagine a stranger showing up with a stack of headlines and trying to convince you that your friend is secretly a different person. You'd probably laugh. Then you'd ask if they wanted a cup of tea before continuing this ridiculous conversation, because you know what you've experienced, and experience beats gossip every single time. That's what makes this whole thing so funny. The louder the outside noise gets, the more obvious the friendship becomes. People keep looking for cracks. Meanwhile, Abigail's over there talking about Meghan with the confidence of somebody who already knows who she is. No hesitation, no wobbling, no backing away, just loyalty. And can we be honest for a second? Loyalty has become weirdly underrated. Everybody wants loyal friends until it's time to actually be loyal. That's when things get interesting. That's when some people suddenly disappear like they owe money. That's when others start distancing themselves because they're worried about public opinion. But the strongest friendships, those are the ones that plant their feet and refuse to move. Storm coming? Fine. Bad headlines? Fine. Internet drama? Fine. We're still friends. End of discussion. That's the vibe Abigail brought. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. I am your host, Miles. See you in the next video. Goodbye.